Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So today we have some very interesting Star Wars news stories indeed, and we begin with Skeleton Crew, the upcoming Mandalorian spin-off series by Jon Watts. We heard a few weeks ago that production on the series was a disaster. A couple of reports stated that from the management to treatment of crew and staff, to the overall work environment, everything that could go wrong did go wrong. As a result, they're gonna do reshoots, and as we suspected, this is probably gonna push back the show to 2024. It was originally slated for this year, and Disney Plus included it in their coming in 2023 video, but today we basically got subtle confirmation from Disney that it is in fact delayed. They didn't flat out say it, but in their latest video coming to Disney Plus teaser for 2023, Skeleton Crew was omitted entirely. It was in the previous trailer from back in December, but not in this one, so there is our answer. Now, I've got to say, it's not the worst piece of news in the world, far from it. We still have Ahsoka and Mandalorian Season 3 as the live-action releases of this year, and oh boy, are fans excited for those. But this means that Skeleton Crew is now going to release next year, alongside Andor Season 2 and The Acolyte. And this provides a really nice segue into our next topic. The Acolyte is going to be the first live-action High Republic show, the one that's being helmed by Leslye Headland, and we've had a few set leaks and also some casting details over the last few months, and one of the actors confirmed was Dafne who's now been identified as a character called Jecki. Now, we don't know if Jecki is going to be a Jedi or a Sith, or something else entirely like a bounty hunter, but that's the name that's been unveiled, and we know this from a casting agency. Dafne is best known for starring in Logan alongside Hugh Jackman, where she played the character of X-23, and in recent years, she's been the lead of the HBO series His Dark Materials, which recently ended their third season, but she'll soon be making a big splash in the Star Wars fandom when she appears in The Acolyte. Once again, according to a talent agency, her character is called Jecki. Really cool stuff. And speaking of The Acolyte, of all people, Daisy Ridley has commented that from what she's heard about the show, it's gonna be amazing. Now, it should be said she was told this from an executive, so it's a biased point of view. Obviously, they have to say good things about it, but I do hope they're right. I'm really hoping The Acolyte is gonna be one of the best shows Disney put out. Needless to say, Daisy Ridley is not involved in any capacity, but she knows Amandla Stenberg and a few executives on the project, and she was told The Acolyte is going to be really good. Let's dive into this. Speaking to Variety, Daisy Ridley recalls getting the scoop on the upcoming Star Wars series from an industry insider. Here's what she said. "I sat next to someone at the premiere for Wakanda Forever, an executive, and they said, The Acolyte is amazing." And reflecting on her own experiences in the Star Wars franchise, especially when it comes to criticism, Daisy feels confident the show's star Amandla Stenberg can cope with the pressure and, quote, handle herself. They then say, created by Leslye Headland, The Acolyte is a mystery thriller about a former Padawan who teams up with an old Jedi Master to investigate a series of crimes. And a huge question, were the leaks accurate? We're gonna have to wait and see. I covered those over the summer. There were talks of Darth Plagueis, a mysterious alien race that terrorizes the town of Amandla's character, her younger sibling, her grandfather, and lots of other information, but some believe they were just basing it on the concept art, which some insiders got a hold of. Now, also in this interview with Daisy, she addresses the hate online, especially from trolls who try to provoke. They're a minority but a loud one, and we're not talking about people who criticize the films or the characters, we're talking about people who cross the line and go into personal territory which should never happen. Daisy was very diplomatic and spoke very politely, and she basically said, there are so many benefits to being in Star Wars, just focus on the good things, the experience, getting to be a part of this amazing franchise, and just ignore the haters. It was a great message, and I do think to a large extent a lot of fans have written off the series before it's even started. In my mind, it's always best to give it a chance, just wait till it comes out, don't write it off too soon. It's just like the Andor series, it has the potential of being one of the best things Disney Star Wars has ever done. And bear in mind, for those fans who didn't like the Andor show, who missed the lightsabers and the Force, The Acolyte might be the answer. That's all about Jedi versus Sith. But before then, in just over a month, we have The Mandalorian Season 3, and hopefully, some of those Jedi flashbacks from Order 66 are going to give us our lightsaber fix, not to mention Din Djarin as the Darksaber, so there is going to be a lot of action there. Daisy Ridley also shared that she still watches Star Wars content, even though as she said she will always be Rey, outside of her her own Star Wars experience, she is still a fan, and she does watch the shows. She says, quote, "The work everyone's doing is amazing." Very similar comments to what Rian Johnson said, the idea of a smorgasbord of Star Wars media. Specifically, she praised The Mandalorian, saying, quote, "I worked with Pedro Pascal and I was like, this is really cool, this is The Mandalorian." And she confirms she's gonna be watching season 3 as well. Really cool stuff, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And staying on the subject of The Mandalorian season 3, I want to go through a theory I came across. This connects Gideon to what's going on Mandalore. Despite what we saw in Star Wars Rebels, the Empire might still have a presence there after they lost the war against the rebellion. There is one frame from the trailer I spoke about in my full trailer breakdown, where we see TIE interceptors for the first time in live action since Return of the Jedi, pursuing a gauntlet class Mandalorian starfighter. Is Bo-Katan in that Mandalorian ship? And what is the nature of her being chased by remnants of the Empire? Now, I should say, I think there's a very clear reason Bo-Katan was not in the Book of Boba Fett. She was mentioned by the Armourer, and Emily Swallow's character does blame her for the fall of Mandalore. But I reckon in the time period between The Mandalorian season 2 and 3, a lot has changed. We don't know where Bo-Katan is. I have the theory she's not on Mandalore, but rather Crown Est. And not only Moff Gideon, but those working for him and remnants of Gar Saxon's group are going to be chasing Bo-Katan. With the help of Clan Ren, she may have militarized in that time, and the Imperials don't want her to rule Mandalore. They don't want our heroes restoring the planet. So with Moff Gideon in prison, what is his motive to stop Bo-Katan? Well, considering she lost the Darksaber to him before the events of The Mandalorian season 1, and with rumours that Gideon is going to be sporting his own Mandalorian armour, there are more connections than we realise. It's possible that Mandalore, the very world that the Imperials destroyed, became their refuge after the New Republic won. Claiming the conquered world would certainly fit with Gideon's character and dark past, and there could be more remnants out there. It could have been used as a hiding place. What do you guys think? Is this possible? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And so finally, guys, an update from Bryce Dallas Howard. One of the best directors on the show is returning for season 3, and now she has shared her excitement. She says, "Reunited and it feels so good. It's an honor to have been invited back to direct on the new season of Mando. There is nothing quite like the adventure, magic and friendship forged on this show. She is an absolute gem, very talented, and she was also the voice of Yaddle in Tales of the Jedi." So share your thoughts in the comments down below, guys. If you enjoyed this video, why not give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. May the Force be with you always. So, some very interesting comments there by Daisy. She does make a good point of Amandla Stenberg, this thing of like, enjoy the good side of being in the Star Wars franchise, enjoy the experience, live in it, and ignore the bad stuff because it is a minority, a vocal minority. But I like that Daisy is a positive person. I like that she acknowledges that there is a greatly positive side, obviously, to being in Star Wars. She said in another interview that she will always be Rey, and she will always be Rey. How do I feel about what she said? Well, she doesn't know how to respond, but she brings up that everything is individualized. So she basically is saying that she doesn't know how people are going to respond to Amandla compared to her because everyone's different. I've seen a few news articles kind of twist. I was scrolling through some Star Wars news articles earlier, preparing for my video, and I see that Daisy Ridley's comments on Variety were twisted because they said Daisy Ridley calls out toxic fandom or Daisy Ridley's strong advice for female actors. I think she's very wise to personally respond from her own experiences and not to necessarily project what she thinks others will go through because that's impossible. And she's not putting Amandla Stenberg in the position of like a victim right off the bat. Amandla Stenberg was amazing. I saw her in Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. That's a great film. And so I do think that they're going to be fantastic in The Acolyte.